Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. Hope you're all okay. I'll get the old hat off. Think to me hat. Hey, Dennis Hobson Promotions. It's an original. Look at that. POW UK Limited. We all remember them, don't we? Hey, you all remember them. Good old POW, eh? Proper company, that, wasn't it? Back in the day, if you wanted t-shirts and stuff. No jotted down, it's just going to be a quick video. I've done a video called Weapon of the Week. I hope everybody likes it. It's going to be out on Sunday. Sunday at 7:15, and it will be for, I think it's about 35 minutes long, 35 minutes long. The actual footage is 29 minutes, and then you've got a couple of, I think there's a 1 minute video to slip in, and then your intro and your ending. It probably might be 33 minutes long. That's out on Sunday at 7:15. Everybody's gonna like that. That's all I can say. And there's a 2-hour 16-minute video that's going to be out at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, that's going to be out. No, or 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock. You've got some videos out Sunday. 5 o'clock. There's 2 1-hour episodes that takes it up to 7:15. And you've got your Weapon at Week, which takes it up to 5 to 8. Then you can put your kettle on, and then you can sit down and you can then watch whatever boxing channels you want. Boxing Asylum is what I usually watch, or usually listen to. Normally I listen to it on a Monday, but I'll be listening to it this Sunday. While I'm walking my dog, probably. So if not, I usually catch up on Mondays, but it'd be nice to listen to one live for a change. Just wanted to point that out. So it's all good. Yeah, that's about it really. I wanted to touch on the situation with Yui at the moment. Yui Fury is 26-3. So he's had 29 fights. I'd like to see Yui against Robert Elenius. I don't know what's happening with that. And the winner of that fight should go on to do great things. But I just want to see Yui Fury in a fight now. I know he's hard to match. He's hard to nail in the fight. He's not been down yet as a pro, has he? He's not touched the canvas in 29 fights. So I think that's good. But I'm hearing some of the reports that I'm hearing about Yui in training camp is fantastic. I've heard he's hitting really, really hard, sitting down on his shots. Obviously, we know that Yui and his cousin Tyson, for years, they've fought like really loose and that, and kept things long, and never forced anything and stuff like that. And Tyson recently has been sitting down on his shots, and he's got power. Nobody can deny that he can punch. Although the style that Peter Fury designed for Tyson, not a lot of people know this, but the style that Peter Fury designed for Tyson was so that he could protect his chin, because when he came to Peter, he'd been getting dropped. He'd been dropped several times, and he's never been dropped once with Peter Fury in the corner. We all saw what happened when he got dropped against Steve Cunningham, who were a cruiserweight. That happened with Clifton Mitchell in the corner because Peter Fury, for those of you that don't know, tried to get into America from Canada, and they got arrested, didn't they, at the border coming through on the train. So Peter got within so many hours, he was put back on a plane back into the UK. But that style was designed to help protect his chin. But Peter weren't in the corner that night when he got dropped. So Tyson never hit the deck with Peter in the corner, and Yui's never hit the deck with Peter in the corner. So I think that's good. That's really good. But what's going to happen with Huey? I don't know. I want to see him in a fight. I want to see all these people that have got plenty to say for themselves in boxing. Boxers have plenty to say for themselves. Well, fight Huey Fury. Let's have Huey a fight. I want to see Huey Fury in a fight. I don't think that's a lot to ask. They can't expect Huey to be fighting for buttons, though. It ain't about money for Huey, to be honest. But it's about winning, isn't it? And it's about being treated correctly. You can't just go out and fight for nothing or buttons. You've got to be paid accordingly. Now, you're going out there putting your life on the line. It's heavyweight boxing. One punch and you can end up talking like Dave Allen. Do you know what I mean? But exciting times ahead. But I do want to see Huey in a proper fight. I want to see him grab his opportunity. We're getting on for 4 years now since Huey for Pulev. And these mandatory positions, they don't come around that often, especially if somebody's got all the belts. Now, look at it like this. If Huey beat Pulev, so it was Pulev on it. If Huey had beat Pulev, he'd have fought Joshua. Now, Pulev's just recently fought Joshua, hasn't he? Right? Now, it took, what were it, 3 years? 2.5, 3 years. Look, it was a long time from Pulev beating Huey Fury for him to actually get his fight with Joshua. These mandatory positions, they don't come round. They say they call them every 9 months, but if they're in a unified fight, it supersedes a mandatories and stuff like that. Boxing's a tough old sport. And, it's just like going to the bottom of the pile. You can have a win, get yourself in a position, and then you can be parked up. Look at Joe Joyce. How much longer is Joe Joyce going to be parked up? It's a mess now with all these belts, but it's not Usyk's fault, is it? So I think maybe it's time for the governing bodies to do something about this situation, because Usyk may never fight again. I think it's very commendable what he's doing in his country and putting that first, and it should come before sport. We're talking about something here that's probably not been seen in Europe since World War II. Now, I don't want to get into anything political or say anything like that, anything stupid, because I'm trying not to follow it because it's a bit upsetting, isn't it, seeing what's going on. But Pulev ain't going to fight this year. You can forget this year, because he's going to need three months to get in shape, and then they've got to promote the fight, and there's no booked at the moment. So if you had 3 months on to now, it takes us to July. So he's not going to fight this year, Pulev, at all. So I know everybody's tiptoeing around the situation, but I think maybe it's time that somebody comes forward and has a word with the governing bodies and says, like, what are we doing here? I know it's harsh and all that, and I was critical of Eddie Hearn for trying to get things moving, but the divisions, it's a stalemate again, isn't it? It's a stalemate. I mean, Dylan White's been screaming he's been 4 years, hasn't he? I've been 4 years and everybody's avoiding me and all that. Well, you've got Tyson Fury now, so you've got your opportunity to grab it with both hands, because you're gonna need all that you can get to beat Tyson. But the division's in stalemate, and that's not Huey Fury's fault. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things into the mix, isn't it? It's fighters' faults, and it's TV platforms' faults. It's managers' faults, trainers' faults, media's fault, the boxers' fault, the promoters, everybody into the mix. Everybody's putting the tuppence worth in, or the 2 pence worth in, having the says, but we're not getting the fights, are we? We've got Tyson Fury and Dylan White to look forward to. I personally, I'm going to say that they don't fight in April. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sometimes in life you get people that are right, and sometimes in life you get people that are wrong. 2 seconds, just let a bit of sun in here. It's still cold, isn't it? But we've got a bit of sunlight. That's how I'm looking at it. But point I want to make is this: I just want to see Yui in a fight. I want to see him tested. Now that he's sitting down on his punches and that he's tweaked his style a little bit and his dad's added to his game. We all know that Yui's a defensive specialist. He's never hit the deck. He moves like a super middleweight. He's light on his feet. You know, he can really bang now and he's really punching really hard. People give me loads of stick because I back Yui, because me and his dad get on, we're really good mates. And people tend to have a little pop at me in the comments section. There's a guy here who always has plenty to say about Yui. Everybody wants to give him a hard time, blah de blah. Well, look, the proof is in the pudding. So let's see Yui in a test, right? Yui is a Sky Sports fighter. Let's see him in a fight with somebody commendable, somebody good. Or let's see him in with Robert Elenius, Charlie Martin, Luis Ortiz. They're all people that I like to see him in with. Derek Chisora. I mean, I was hearing at one point that Derek Chisora were going to consider fighting Yui. But why ain't Derek considering it? Is it because he's got Eddie Hearns here? Is Eddie stopping Yui having a fight? That's what I'm hearing. Derek Chisora were up for fighting Yui a few months ago. Now he's in and he's asking for stupid money and that. Well, why? You've got 12 losses. Derek, 12 losses. Chisora. You're not in a situation to be shouting and bawling, Derek. Take the fight with Yui. Take the money on offer, Derek, and take the fight. Come on. Yui Fury versus Derek Chisora. It's a routine win for Yui that schools him. Yui Fury schools Derek Chisora on points if they fight, without a shadow of a doubt. So why ain't Derek stepping up to the plate? He doesn't have a contract with Eddie Hearn or Eddie Hills, the 5-0 Iceman from Billericay, free by way of. Yeah, that's right, boys and girls. Eddie's now moved to 5-0 after his points victory over Frank with the spots Smith. Not Frank from Bury, my very personal and close friend of mine. Nope. Frank from Brentwood with the spots. You know, dot to dot, Frank. You get a felt pen like this Sharpie and you join it up and you make a spider's web. Spotty Frank, who, what did I say? He's going to come out and say that Eddie Hearn broke his ribs. Because Eddie punched him a few times on ribs, didn't he? We all seen it. And what happened? What happened? 5 days later, he came out and he said, Eddie Hearn broke my ribs. I can read these people like a book. I can read them like a book. Eddie Hearn, the rib breaker. Eddie, thank Crunchy, it's Friday. Hills, the 5-0 Iceman from Billericay. Free by way of. Here's Eddie leaving his £4 million Georgian mansion in Ingerston stock, fresh from his points victory over Frank the Spotty One Smith. Eddie, the bone-crunching punches going in there on Spotty Frank's ribs. That's the right victory, that, isn't it? Eddie Hearn knocking about a flabby young lad. Hey, well, look about me, would he? I'd be on him like a rash. I'd be on you like a rash, Eddie. I'd just go to the body, wouldn't I? Like you did on Frank. Now, I hope everybody's going to get behind the weapon of the week. I don't normally come out and do a video and say, look, weapon of the week's out on Sunday, but I think the whole of the boxing community will want to watch Weapon of the Week this Sunday. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, because it's time for people to stand up in it. We have to stand up against bullies in the sport of boxing, big promotional companies that are bullies. We have to stand up to these people, don't we? Because if we don't stand up to these people, what have we got? We've got anarchy, haven't we? Oh, we'll have anarchy. See, what anarchy does in boxing, it creeps in. And then it simmers, then it... So, and that's what we've got. We've got anarchy. And I can't have that. It gives me the ump. Gives me the ump. But what can you do? But that's about it, really. I will be in Essex. If anybody wants to come and join me for a cuppa, I will be in Essex on Monday. Yeah, if anybody's up for having a meet with me, more than welcome. Come and have a breakfast with me in Essex on Monday, and we'll talk some boxing. But I want to see something done with heavyweight division. That's all. I just want to see something done. I want to see fights getting made. I want to see Chisora get a fight made. I want to see you if you were to get a fight made. Dave Allen fights this weekend. I think Dave Allen fights tomorrow. Let me just tell you who Dave Allen's fighting. Couldn't tell you the guy's name actually. I'll turn my phone off now, but it's nobody serious. The guy Dave Allen's fighting has got 5 wins and 8 losses, so he's 5-8. I know. So he's 5-8, and he's already had a defeat against a 1-5 guy. But Dave Allen's guy, Dennis Hobson's running around saying, well, it's right time for David, blah, blah, blah. Look, Dennis, why didn't you just come out and say, we need to get Dave Allen a win because you want to get him in the ring with Babbitt and you want to get your slice of the matchroom cake, Dennis. But this is how I look at it, right? Does anybody seriously think that Eddie Hearn or Eddie Hills is going to give Dennis Hobson a slice of the cake of the DAZN money? Eddie Hills don't want to work with Dennis. If Eddie Hills works with Dennis on this, I will be gobsmacked. I will be gobsmacked because we all know that Dennis tried to drag Eddie Hills out of a bar on Boardwalk at IBF convention, don't we? 2007 years ago, 8 years ago, when Jamie McDonnell left Dennis to go to Eddie Hills. Dennis swore revenge, and I find it a bit cringe actually that Dennis would want to work with somebody like that. Dennis, why would you want to work with Eddie Hills? Why? I'm doing the best for my fighters, Russell. Yeah, but Dennis, sometimes don't pride come into it, don't morals and doing the right thing. What happened to all them values that you used to teach in me? But yeah, you work with Eddie Hills if it meant you getting a slice of the cake off a Dave Allen wage. Look, Eddie's not going to work with you, Dennis. You know that, and I know that. If he were going to work with you, well, he'd have done it by now, wouldn't it? Hey, Dennis, you know and I know that you'll do very well if you can get any of the cake. I mean, how long ago is it now that Dennis and Asif Valley went to try and thrash a deal out for Kell Brook and Amir Khan when Asif convinced Dennis that he had Amir Khan's ear? So they went chasing around the world, didn't they? Dubai, Los Angeles, Vegas, London. They went to have a meeting with Eddie Hearn, had a meeting in London. No come of that. And what I call that, Dennis, is shit talkers. Shit talkers. People chat shit in your ear hole and sometimes get stuck up your arsehole because they're chatting that much shit that you get overwhelmed by shit. Before you know where you are, you're swimming in a shit feast. And this shit feast that we've got here, Dennis, that you're serving up tomorrow night is home fighters, 23 wins, 5 losses and 2 draws. The away fighters, 19 wins, 106 losses and 4 draws. There's a total of 5 fights on a show, and this is on Fight Zone, everybody. So go and sign up to Fight Zone. I think it's free in it now. They're doing it free, are they? You don't know. I think it's free. If you go sign up, it's free. If not, and you have to pay, I think they've half price or whatever. Go and sign up and give Dennis a leg up because they've spent, well, Dennis has spent thousands of other people's money on this Fight Zone thing. So people need to help him out. Go and help him out because they've got 5 fights on. They've got 3 4-rounders and 2 6-rounders. All the opponents have all got losing records, and Dennis has dug up Dale Arrowsmith again. 59 fights, 3 wins. If you sprayed a car, if you sprayed 59 resprays at a garage, if you did 59 bits of work in body shop for a company, and only 3 of them cars that you worked on were any good, and the other 56 were shocking, you'd be sacked, wouldn't you? You wouldn't even get 59 chances, would you? So why are people with 59 fights and 3 wins and loss after loss after loss after loss? Why are these people getting border control licenses? I don't get that. I don't get it. But Dennis has got 3 debuts on, taking the amount of debuts to 50 odd, to 51 and 52, Dennis. How many of these 50 odd debuts, Dennis, in the last year that you've handed out, which is fantastic for boxing? How many of the 50, Dennis, are from white collar? Okay, we surrender. We surrender. We'll come quietly. All I want to know, Dennis, is how many of these 50 odd debuts that you've handed out. And that's great, isn't it? When you're giving people debuts, 50 odd debuts in a year on Fight Zone. How many are from white collar? It's a simple question. Will Danny Flexen be asking that question? Will you, Danny? Not on your Nelly. So that's how I look at it. That's all we want to know. How many are from white collar? So that's about it, really. We've had an email of somebody. We don't know if it's a troll, Dennis, but people asking, and we don't like I said, we don't know if it's a troll, but people asking if we will let Maximus Jenkins fight Perry Howe at heavyweight. It could be called, it could be built up as the battle of the titty men on Fight Zone, because Fight Zone they've got experience, haven't they, putting titty men on, you know, like men with tits, titty men. Who wants to see a man with tits box? Professional boxers should be fit. They should look like athletes. Mickey Theo once told me that. He said they've got to look like athletes. Look at the state of some of these boxers. Look at messes that they're getting. Now, what I want to see is, I want to see Max in with somebody when he's had a few more fights. Max is a 1-0 fighter. Julian's helping him out. Terry Chappendama's helping him out. I'm helping him out as well, just behind the scenes with a few words here, there, and everywhere. I'm just going to pick other people's brains, other people who I know in the industry, who train guys to British titles, to world titles. You know, I'll pick people's brains, and if people don't like it, unlucky. Don't watch, don't listen. But Max has just turned 34. He's come from the rugby. He's come from rugby, so he's got a sports background. He can punch like a mule. He's not the sharpest tool in the box, and he's also not light on his feet, but he's my friend. And what we do where I come from, we look after our friends and we respect our friends. That's what we do. Until they turn on you, then it's time not to respect them, innit? It's time to rinse them. Or if people take it a little bit too far and they do stuff that's really bad, well, we have to rinse them even more, don't we? But the point I want to make is this. Max is, I'm not going to talk like Dennis, but I will just for this 1 second, Dennis. Max is my pal. He's a big pal of mine. Well, look, Max is my pal and he's never asked me for a penny, unlike other pals. Never asked me for a penny, and he was there for me when I was in Turkey, and when I came out, I was laid up 3 months. Max, not only were Terry Chappendama and Rico and Mickey Theo and people like that ringing me all the time when I was in Turkey laid up, Max were ringing as well, and he's also came to see me regular from Scarborough. He obviously loves driving, doesn't he? £2.10 a litre diesel at the moment. And Max still loves driving. But so I'm going to do my best for Max, but nothing's going to get cleared unless it goes through Julian, his trainer, and Terry, and we sit down and talk as a group. What's best for Max? Nobody's taking any money off Max. We don't take money off fighters. That's not what we're about. Max wants to achieve his dream and he wants to do boxing. And so I'm going to get him probably one of the best technical trainers in the country, Julian McGowan. Julian is a teacher. He's not a trainer, he's a teacher. And how he explains things is fantastic. And I can understand now why trainers are going to Julian and asking him. I'm not going to mention any names because that would be very disrespectful. Very. That would be committing a cardinal sin. But Julian has had people approaching him, asking him where they're going wrong and can they advise on this and that. And I think there's nothing wrong with having to put your hand up and saying, do you know what? I need a bit of help here. And I'd like to see other people do that in boxing instead of being know-alls. I'd like Ben Davison to come forward and say, please, sir, I need a bit of help here. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody's saying Ben Davison's a bad trainer. Nobody's saying that at all. But what I am saying is this. Ben Davison's been found wanting in the Josh Taylor fight and the Lee Wood fight and the Lee McGregor fight. 3 fights. Lee Wood got him out of jail. Ian John Lewison got him out of jail. And I forgot the judges in the McGregor fight. Give it a draw, didn't they? Shocking. Look, every now and then you've got to put your hand up and say, yeah, I'm going to say you don't know what I'm doing. So I'm out of order there saying that. But you've got to say, am I doing all wrong? Or what about this or this? You've got to try different things. But like I've just said there, there's nothing wrong with saying you need a bit of help. So Julian's going to make the decisions and we're just going to all chip in as best we can and do what's best for Max. So, but Dennis, if Perry Howe wants to fight Max, get in touch with me. I'm going to be the guy that gets Max the best deal because he's the one getting it ringing in. So Dennis, just in case you do want to get in touch, because we don't know this email, it could be a troll. But if you want to get in touch, you've got to get in touch with me. He's not going to get in touch with Max. Max will just tell you to get in touch with me, just like he's told that Ben Shalom. Get in touch with me, all right? But Max will not be fighting Steve USSR Robinson for £9,500 on Sky. Max is a 1-0 fighter, and Max is going to need a few more fights before he's ready for anything like that, all right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But if you want to talk Perry Howe, Dennis, get in touch with me. But let me just say this to you, there will be no ticket deals. The last thing I would want Max to be getting involved with is a Ron Lyle ticket deal in a car park. So there'll be none of that, Dennis, no ticket deals. And if we are going to be working with you to fight Perry Howe, Dennis, Max does do tickets, but that shouldn't be a given. There will be a purse arranged, Dennis, right? There will be a purse arranged, and that money will be in an escrow. It won't be a Monday morning in your office, Dennis, where you turn around and say, well, Sean done so good, can you take this? Oh, no, 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 no. You're dealing with me, Dennis, Big P. So if your guy Perry wants to fight, and if you want to do the fight, Dennis, get in touch or come and see me. You know where this office is. Last time you came down here was July 29th, 2020. When you pressed buzzer and I didn't answer the door today because I didn't want to see you. And I still don't really want to see you. We can do it on Zoom, Dennis. I don't really want you in my company. But if you want to fight Max with your guy, Perry the Titty Man Howe, you're going to have to come through me. All right? Max does tickets. He'll do 200 tickets all day. But what if he doesn't do tickets? He don't need to, does he? Because Max is the away fighter. So if you want to do the fight, Dennis, we haven't got a problem coming to Sheffield. But like I've just said there, and like Max will say to his 22,000 Instagram subscribers, he ain't fighting on a ticket deal, Dennis. Okie dokie. But getting back to the heavyweight division, it's stalemate, isn't it? Utter stalemate. Who's Ergovic fighting? Who's Otis fighting? Who's Joshua fighting? Where is Anthony Joshua going? Hey. We just shut that window because lads from Eastwood Hotels were all underneath windowsill. Like a premiere for them, isn't it? Ben, you're gonna have to wait while it comes. You're gonna have to wait while it comes on channel, Ben. But that's about it, really. Who's Joshua fighting? I don't know, and I don't care. But it's got to be somebody with a heartbeat. But I know one thing: it won't be Perry the Titty Man. How will it, Perry? Hey. So, but like I said, we're just going to do our best for our friends. I hope you're all right, Julian. Thank you for doing that session with Max this morning. That's 7 sessions Max has now done with you. And I want to thank you, Julian, for not taking money off him, because Max were paying an utter fortune for Harry Matthews to train him. An utter fortune. I call that taking advantage of somebody, me. Taking advantage of somebody. If they can't do it from goodness of their heart, don't do it at all. So I want to thank you, Julian. But if ever you do feel that you need anything for training, Max, do get in touch with me and I'll make sure that you're looked after. But you're that type of guy, Julian, that you don't want a bean to do it. Because you never took a bean off Gary Sykes, did you? And this is what we need in boxing. People like Peter Fury, he never takes anything. Do you know what I mean? So not everybody does it from the heart, do they? And this is why the sport's so ruthless. All right. So, but I just want to say good luck to all them on Dennis's show tomorrow night. Good luck especially to Dave Allen, who when I heard today what Dave Allen were getting, I nearly collapsed. I thought, oh my God. Oh my God. He's fighting for that. But yet he was knocking back X amount to fight Dubois. Unbelievable. I mean, and you see, sometimes this is what happens in boxing. People get carried away with themselves and then they dig themselves in an hole. And then to dig themselves out the hole, they've got to go and they've got to fight for a pat on back. I can't believe that. Dave, I can't believe what you're fighting for. After everything you've been saying on your social media and all these interviews, I think you're fighting for that. I mean, where's your head at? Do you seriously think that this is going to get you the Babbitt fight? Nobody cares about Babbitt anymore, Dave. Get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. I mean, why don't you just stand on the internet, Dave, on IFL, on Zoom, with a bowl and say, please, Eddie, more. Hey? When Bricktop made you that offer to fight Dubois, you should have took that, Dave. When you put your head down on that pillow at night, all you see is Daniel Dubois and all the add-ons that came with it. By losing to him, you could have fought all them Gormans and David Adelaide, people like that. You could have had all that. Unbelievable. And now look at you. You're working with Ron Lyle. You've gone full circle. But at least Ron will be able to get his investment back that he put into you, won't he, Dave? He'll get his pound of flesh out of you. But this is how I look at it, right? Let me just say this. And it's not the first time I've said this. And Eddie Earn will back me up on this. Any promoter putting David Allen on their shows needs to have a long, hard, good look at himself in the mirror. Forget the fact that the board have given him a medical. Look, forget all that. Have a good look at yourself in the mirror. And that's what you need to do, Dennis. You need to have a good look at yourself in the mirror. And you need to remember about all them private conversations that we had. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dennis's greatest hits. You need to remember, because some of them are on this channel. You need to practice what you preach. All right. You know what you said about Dave Allen coming back after the David Price loss. What were it, Russ? This is on my channel. Any promoter who puts Dave Allen on a show now after that, they ain't got the sport's best interest at heart, or the fighters. And you're on about putting Dave Allen in a boxing ring again, Dennis. Hey? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The contradictions is unbelievable. Dennis, the contradiction Hobson. Isn't it, Den? But, like I've just said there, if you want to put Perry out in with Max, you've got to come through me, and it's going to be money in an escrow and no ticket deals. If Max wants to do tickets, he'll do tickets. But money in an escrow, Dennis. All right, you know what that is, don't you? All right, there will be no ticket deals and none of this. Yeah, we'll give you this much. Come and see us on a Monday. In fact, I tell you what, and this goes against the grain for me, this. Max, I know you might be pissed off about this because you and Perry have got beef. Dennis, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to vote that, no, we don't work with you, Dennis, because we don't work with people that we don't trust. All right, I'm from the Mick Whale School of Boxing, so no, we don't want to work. Max, we don't need to work with these. We'll do our own thing. We don't want to work with these. It goes against the grain. So no. So that's that. So we've dealt with that. So the heavyweight division in South Yorkshire is still at stalemate now, isn't it? But at least we've got Cash Ali. He's the IBF European champion, and he's just been in with a guy 2-1, but the belt wasn't on the line. We've got Dave Allen. Dave Allen's fighting a guy 5-8, and he's lost against a guy 1-5. So we've got Dave. So Dave's fighting another guy losing record. So that's where we're at. So people tell me it's the boxers that make the division at stalemate. No, it's the promoters that turn the division into stalemate. That's what's happening. It's the promoters. But what can you do? Onwards and upwards. Anyway, listen, I've got to go because I've got something bubbling. So don't you worry, Dennis. I've got something bubbling as well too, just like you. But the only thing with mine is, mine's genuine and it's from the heart. Mine ain't bullshit to pay the people lip service. Don't worry about it. I've got something bubbling. Dennis's something bubbling. It's the longest bubble to ever bubble the bubble. Anyway, I hope you all like Porky's boxing comedy chat. We've had a bit of a laugh today, haven't we? Do you like my shades? It's shade time now, isn't it? Shade time. So, okie dokie. Can I give a big shout out to Ash from not there. He's the Ash is here with his Rolls Royce from Eastwood Autos. Big shout out to Ash. Thank you very much. Bump, bump, bump for backing Porky's Corner for another year. They've got a sale on at Eastwood Autos next door. Get your son down here. Some beautiful cars. And can I give a big shout out to AJ Hobson? AJ, I forgot, you know, I've been looking for AJ. I've just found it. I've got our interview there. You remember that interview I lost AJ about 3 years ago? I found it. So I think I'm going to put that out next week. So, okie dokie. So peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. I'm trying to work out whether this is going to be any good for when I go to Turkey. Do you think I might be too hot in this? What do you reckon? I think it's like a ski coat. Does anybody remember them Capri coats? You remember them at school in the early 80s? They were all right, weren't they? Capri coat and a pair of Puma hard play. Hey, okie dokie. Peace out. Big shout out to Frank from Bury.